This one's going to be a little bit different. This one is going to be a test session just to see how it plays out. It's more of a D&D based game. It is definitely something that looks very interesting. I'm not 100% sure as what to say about it. All I know is that it looks very interesting. And I know that for people that are a fan of D&D, if you guys like it, feel free to, kind of share it around a little bit. And then, because I'm trying to see if I can't make this into a whole series, this is just, kind of a test run just to see. I mean, even if it doesn't do the best, I might still end up making it into a series because it could turn out to be a very good game. So, for anybody that is, a fan of D&D stuff, feel free to hang out and check it out, and we can see kind of how this plays out. Otherwise, welcome. Hang out, check it out, and we'll just go from there.
Easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
Ugh. What a dismal way to wake. In the belly of the beast. Let's see if I can grope my way out.
Alright, so, most people know how I play. I usually, for any type of game really, I am more or less a rogue type, so I found a rogue. And that was what I figured I would use. So if you guys enjoy it, feel free to kind of hang out, see if it's something that might interest you. Otherwise, yeah. I said it's kind of like, from what I kind of get the feel off of it, it's kind of like D&D. And I know that people enjoy these types of things, so it's
An
like...
animal pen. How utterly charming.
Definitely could be worth checking out, because I've heard D&D people talk about it, heard that it's good. I don't know how I personally feel about it. But this seems like it could definitely be pretty interesting. So...
Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one sharp hoof, she kicks you right in the shin.
That's how we're starting. Being abused by a sheep. After getting unchained a bit.
of tea?
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes.
No lesions.
Looks like
No
that collar
trauma.
fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Dungeon? You have the gall to call my laboratory a dungeon? I'd be quite annoyed with you if you didn't look so honestly perplexed.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good girl, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good.
It seems as though there's a pattern in the blood flow. That can't be natural.
Okay, since I knew that.
No lesions, no trauma.
Alexander, grant me patience. What? Alexander, grant me patience. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens. Oh, do go on. I won't hold it against you. Promise. My, aren't we a meek little lamb? Perhaps I needn't have collared you at all, though it does look darling on you. So let's just leave it on, shall we? Because to answer your question, what this collar does is this. It makes you unable to cast Source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
This is some sort of magic.
Good gods. There's been a murder here.
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass. Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect like the rest of them.
Interesting. It's a very... This is know if that's a good way to start it out, but okay. I guess that always means we don't have to worry about anything. Because they're not gonna think we hit anything.
Did the murderer take him into this room? Or was he already?
Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. Move along.
No marks, no indications of a struggle. Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out of him. His own shadow and his own source.
Poor Finn.
We'll find out who did this. Speaking of...
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Finn was killed by Source. If a Magister could do that, there wouldn't be a Magister. It looks more like a passenger managed to slip their collar. And the rest, well, you see the evidence in front of you. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that?
Yeah, because you know I'm worth 1 coin.
Think about it. It's one of you who got killed, not one of us. We want to find who did it and bring them to justice. Who's your real enemy here? You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever did this is dangerous.
I mean, so far the only people that I'm seeing here that's a problem is you people.
I'm trying to concentrate. They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them. I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on. One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one. To the part where I reassure you and you shut up.
Oh, there you are. Wife.
What? I'm sorry, who are you?
Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly, deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You presume right. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
That's concerning. Are you secretly something that we don't know about? Because that's concerning. Demon?
Well, we've got this wolf on a leash now. As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
It was one of them. I know it. Would you put a knuckle in it?
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp you found.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing.
Seems Vic doesn't like him too terribly much. That's always fun.
Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself.
It's always interesting. It's a bishop and it's a cult, is what it sounds like.
I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I...
Not eager to bow before the great Bishop Alexander, son of the Divine himself. My sentiments exactly. But Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You, elf. What's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name?
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Away with you, at once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
But I reassure you and you shut
He
up.
seems like a lovely thing of company.
Mad? Insufferable, surely. I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen. Try that, and if she tries to...
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and rotten tubers, too. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The indignity.
It was one of them. I know it.
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Ah, music to my beleaguered stomach. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor? Yes, well, I'll count that as a no, shall I? On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after. Just as I thought. That explains what's besieging my nostrils. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you can cook, but you have the fashion sense of a monkey in a clown suit, and your personal hygiene reminds one of a carcass rotting in the sun.
Great candidate.
That won't do at all, see? I'm sad to say I must deny you the opportunity to be my slave. Ever so sorry. My slave, of course. Oh, but I see. Yes, I suppose it must take some time for the full extent of my disheartening refusal to sink in. Still, hone your skills, and one day you may just qualify for a position in a lesser household than mine. You keep dreaming, you hear?
Got it, so the lizard's full of himself.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
Who are you?
One of us wouldn't kill our own.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail. He reaches out and examines your face, tugging at your ears and prodding your nose.
Sir, can you stop touching me?
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
I am not as brittle as all that, young lady. My fingers will hardly... Although perhaps you mean... Oh dear. I seem to have crossed some cultural taboo. How... difficult. You have my apologies, fellow elf. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me more than once.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
I do not believe I've been drawn anywhere. It is a quaint little read, but it has its faults. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. tell me, what do you know of our world's history?
Oh, boy.
Most unusual. And if it's not too rude to suggest, not much of an answer.
Thanks, Fane.
No. I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else?
You are a very rude elf, sir.
Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your questions.
That has the Magister's more concerned than your appetite.
Alright, let's see here. So, I've spoken to you. Apparently my wife. According to the children. Oh, almost forgot about you. Hi, buddy. How are you doing?
Sing us a song. I know you can.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, kiddo. You hear that?
His eyes snap open. He looks at you and frowns.
Murder? Ah, that's what they were going on and on about. I wouldn't know anything about it. I kill a man. He knows who done it. His daddy knows who done it. And the mayor knows who done it too.
His eyes flutter shut, and he assumes his position of repose once more.
Whether they catch me is another matter, but I ain't one to hide my accomplishments.
He turns his head toward you, looking you up and down, and smiles before turning his attention to the ship once more.
You look like a girl to me. Listen if you're interested, or get gone if you aren't. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
Classify this slop as food. I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make,
Eh,
Your Majesty.
a common sort of sound, isn't it? Where there's talk, there's health. That's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that. Squeak! Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back, the other catches you before you lose your footing.
There, you heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, kiddo. Good news. It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we'd been travelling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy. Yeah, no indeed, kiddo. But that ain't my final destination.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all, thank ye kindly, kiddo.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
So, anything interesting for me? I'll take that as a no. So, anything interesting? Right. Tick-tock.
TikTok.
It was one of them. I know it. You put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate. They don't care about
Here's the register, ma'am. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far?
He tugs the collar of his uniform and chuckles.
Sorry you're upset, ma'am, but we all wear what we wear for a reason. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Creep with those bolts trained on her. And if she drops...
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
She is mental.
What's happened?
Alright, so it looks like everybody blew up. Pants.
Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire-looking wound.
Okay, so, I don't know if anybody else finds it weird or suspicious that everybody else is still here. There's Ivan. There's Red. There's Beast. And there she is. But we're missing, Fane. Whatever his name is. So that's slightly concerning. Who knows? Maybe he's wandering around somewhere.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters. That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards. Need to get off this wreck. And quick.
What the? Okay, one, how are you still awake? And two, what the hell are you doing down here?
You pass through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and a glorious jewel sits in the middle of his forehead. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia, muttering to himself.
No. What damn fools record knowledge on a pulped tree? It catches fire, it turns into must when wet, it cannot even resist acid. No wonder they're so bloody ignorant.
The skeleton looks up and notices you for the first time.
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping from page to page.
Yes, indeed. It's the look of someone that wants to read the bloody book he's holding. Now, if you're really quite finished, I believe you have lifeboats to flee to. Please, I was no more an elf than you are those rags you're wearing. I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take that primitive form. A mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her little scene.
Oh!
Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands. Indeed, just as sensible as getting off a sinking ship and leaving a fellow to his business. I would say good day, but it seems quite likely that you're about to die a rather terrible death, so...
The skeleton shrugs casually and returns to his book.
Fane, you're interesting, dude.
Great gods! Something's pounding on the hull!
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol immediately for what it is, a warning of death fog within. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The color drains from your hand, and you are left numb. It doesn't budge. The door groans open, but an ashen shadow clouds your mind.
I need to get out of here. Now!
Curious what am I going in there?
the ship.
good. That means there's still a chance.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
Said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Okay, so he's a coward, got it.
Thank you! There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
Calm down.
Hands rope.
The Magister lies on the floor.
Okay. If she's still dying, I just kill her and put her out
If
of
you
her
can
misery.
walk, get yourself up the ladder. There's a... Wait. Void broken.
Prepare yourself.
I'll yield to none.
Read the reaper for me.
Okay.
Glory is mine.
I need aid.
No telling where there might be more. We need to move.
We make a pretty good team.
Worries me. He's actually kind of cool. I don't want to lose him. Oh, he's just gonna sit up here and chill.
Please, my time is short. Although yours, I gather, is infinitely shorter.
Magister Siwan, the one who put on this damn collar.
She tries to speak, but can only gape as she clutches her neck, trying to stem the bleeding of a gushing wound. With jagged movements, she raises her clenched fist and holds out a length of cloth, soaked with some kind of strong-smelling tincture. Blood quickly soaks through the cloth. Magister Siwan's mouth opens and closes, her eyes wide in terror. It's working. The pressure is stemming the flow of blood. Siwan clutches your arm, her eyes locked with yours. Something within the ship snaps. The floorboards shudder. Siwan struggles to her feet, clinging to you tightly. The ship lets out a deep groan, then cracks.
It's ripping the ship apart. This is it. She's got...
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
I've danced with death before, but that was a particularly intimate waltz.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that
suppose
here.
I'm the lone survivor.
So, thank you everybody that decided to show
How
up
jolly.
and hang out for a bit. Thank you everybody that decided to hop on. Hey Millie, you caught me at the very end. I am so sorry. Thank you everybody that actually came to, showed up, hung out. I will probably end up continuing doing this just for everybody's feedback and just to see what everybody thinks on it. But until that happens, you know, I post on my Facebook and my Snapchat, or my Facebook and my Instagram, not Snapchat, before I go live. So if you aren't following either one of those, you should definitely check those out, because I usually post right before I start, or a couple hours in advance. It helps people get caught up with it. and catch the updates for when I am going to go live. I'm not saying you have to, but it would be a really good thing to do if you try to keep up with the streams, because sometimes a lot of people don't get the notification for YouTube, but it definitely comes up when I am posting about... Okay. I didn't know if you had or not, because that will definitely help out with those types of things. Video up and going, which I'm gonna try to make this a once a week thing. Unless I have free time, then I might make it once or twice a week. But just to make sure that people don't get their hopes too high up, I'm just gonna say once a week. If you follow any of my pages, I will leave updates and heads ups before or after I post. So, thank you everybody that came out, and I will see you guys in the next video.